Why is this camera angle so weird? Oh wait, I'm sitting on the wrong chair. 1 second. Okay, that recording started convincingly. So welcome everyone, sorry for the red cheeks and everything, I just came back from a morning walk. It's been snowing today and I really wanted to go out for a bit. Along the way I decided that it's just time to record this commentary for this video before I finish all of it, so let's jump right into this thing. What we are doing today is I'm going to paint over these letters and turn these 3 names from the Harry Potter series into 3 text arts. Like, I'm not going to do calligraphy or anything, I'm going to turn every letter into a little picture that might stand on its own and that is linked to the character whose name I'm going to implement that thing into. And back in 2019 I made one of these things with the text Luna Lovegood. Let me show you a little quick. Okay, ArtStation is done in the moment, so I have to look at my own files on my own computer. Wow, we're going back to the Stone Age. Don't even ask me how long it took me to find this. Okay, so this was the picture that I made back in 2019, and my idea, I don't even know where this idea came from, that I wanted to write out the name Luna Lovegood with all sorts of props and symbols and everything linked to her. So we have her wand, here's the Spectra Specs, there's the bottle cork, is that what it's called? I'm not sure. It's a little Testral symbol with the wing and the tail of the Testral, the Deathly Hallows symbol. One of those reddish looking things she wore as an earring. Also here's the veil, and this is a Crumpelhorned Snorkek themed U. And of course I was super uninspired, I must have been, so I used the hair symbol 3 times in these 2 words, so that's a little uninspired. And I decided that I wanted to revive this series and create more of these names. And this time I wanted to start with the main trio, the Golden Trio, Potter, Weasley and Granger. One theme that I wanted to keep consistent in all of these is that I want every one of these names to feature the character's magic wand. It will kinda be an exception with Weasley, but you will see what I mean. But on one hand, having a magic wand is like an easy letter, because you can create these magic beam effects and pretty much create any letter that you otherwise couldn't. Speaking of wands, Harry's name starts with just this motif. His wand and his signature red spell create the letter P for Potter. Then comes the Golden Snitch, which is also one of the most important props from the whole story. It was introduced as just a simple item in the start of the story, and then in the last book we learned that it had a much more significant role. For the double T's I decided to go with Harry's glasses, which is not that readable, but this is also an item that is inseparable from Harry, especially with that little tape that holds together the glasses like we saw in Philosopher's Stone. Then comes the Dementor, which can be bent into a letter E, and these creatures are really significant in Harry's story, so I just had to feature a Dementor. Then comes everyone's favorite White Owl Hedwig, who forms the letter R. When I started the project I wanted the Weasley text to feature things that are linked to Ron, but then I realized that, wait for a second, Weasley is 7 letters and there were 7 Weasley siblings, so every single one of these letters should reference one of them. The first and the last letters are for the twins, Fred and George. The first one being a box from their shop that I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce with my accent. And the last one is some fireworks, because they were known for that. The letter E is Percy's shirt collars and necktie. I don't even remember if he had any interesting props, but the whole uniform theme really fits his character. The letter A is Ginny Weasley herself flying with her broom. I was thinking about some sort of Chamber of Secrets related letter, but I just feel like that being a Quidditch player is much more important to her. The letter S is a dragon that references Charlie Weasley, who works in a dragon sanctuary in Romania. The letter L is Ron's broken wand from Chamber of Secrets. If I remember correctly, that was the most important wand-related event when it comes to the Weasley family. The letter E is the scars of Bill Weasley. For those who only saw the movies, it was just a little throwaway line that he had scars that Fenrir Greyback caused, but it's a much more important thing that happened during the Battle of Astronomy Tower in Book 6, and in a way these scars became Bill Weasley's signature. Granger, a lot of letters, but a lot of things we could use for them. The letter G is a stamp, referencing the fact that Hermione worked with the Ministry, and if we consider the Cursed Child to be canon, then she eventually became the Minister of Magic, and this would be her stamp. The letter R is Crookshanks, Hermione's cat. It seems animals can always be posed into all sorts of letters. The letter A, well, Hermione always has to have an open book, so let's just move on. The letter N is her wand and Patronus spell. And also Hermione had one of these more unique wands where the wand itself doesn't have a handle. Like most of the wands have a handle, and her wand is just one straight line that gets thinner towards the end, but it is one consistent shape. The letter G is a little tricky because it's her time turner, and it is not so obvious, but if you look at the outer ring of the time turner, then you will see that there is a portion of it that is much more yellow and much brighter than the other parts, and this part forms a letter G. The letter E is a bright blue nose of an otter, her otter Patronus, kind of a continuation of the letter N that also features a Patronus spell, just a nod for those who remember such minor details. And the last one, the letter R, is an ink bottle with a feather in it and some spilled ink that together form this letter. My favorite out of these three has to be the Weasley text, because I really like this idea that I had that I'm going to feature every single one of the siblings. Also, from a technical standpoint, maybe Granger is the best, and Harry is just a little, how should I say, practice piece before these much more interesting other two names. I also made an animation in Blender where the camera just follows along these letters and shows you every one of them. I've been practicing Blender lately, mostly only these animation features because I don't want to like create 3D animations or something, but I just want to create these 2.5D animations using my paintings. And this was it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, do some art and have fun while doing that, and farewell.